everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 1 of Batman The Adventure Continues. Now, as you know, Batman Adventures was meant to follow its own continuity away from the TV series, and the same could go to some of the comics based on the DC animated universe. Now, the issue does sort of imply it's meant to take place in the late or early 2000s, with Batman basically looking on with graffitis of all his villains. And it starts off how Batman is patrolling this area and confronts Bane, who says, "I will break you." And mainly uses his basically dark or so. And after basically seeing a giant robot attacking the city, he mainly goes to, see if Officer Bullock's okay, saying, "You alright, Bullock?" "Oh yeah, couldn't be better. What the?" And so he sees that it's going to attack Wayne Enterprises while someone looks on. And yeah, basically shows up to basically cause mayhem and that, and steals something important, with Batman saying, "Put it back!" And so basically tries to take it down, and pretty much gets away, with basically the robot making a break for it, with Bruce Wayne doing some investigation. Well, Alfred says about, being for a big event, and he says, "Forget it, but I haven't even told you about the surprise guest," which turns out it's Veronica, who tries to hit on Bruce Wayne, with Bruce Wayne confirming that, Tim's been his ward for quite a while, and even talks about marriage and that, with Lex Luthor showing up to kind of talk with Bruce, even bringing up the Joker incident from the kind of Batman and Superman team-up, and of course mentioning about Superman's disappearance, which Bruce Wayne finds a bit suspicious about, and even tries to find Clark's voicemail, but pretty much Alfred asks if he's going to leave a message, with Batman saying, "I wasn't expecting an answer," and so goes into the Batmobile to do some investigation at a, airport area. Pretty much sees the tracer left on the robot, and Alfred, checking what the details are, suddenly gets blasted by Lex Luthor in his battlesuit, and turns out what was inside was Brainiac, which turns out Bruce Wayne was doing some investigation for Superman about Brainiac. But Batman clearly does point out that that Brainiac's subconsciousness obviously left, and it's just basically alien hardware, which Lex Luthor says, "What do you think you're going to do with that?" When he basically sees him using a batarang, he uses it inside Brainiac's destroyed head, which ends up with it activating its eye blast, and Batman quickly leaving, with him basically setting up his next Batsuit, which is based on the Dark Knight Returns ones, and he says, "As well as huge, it even has room for a co-pilot." Co-pilot? Which turns out it's meant to be an area for a powerful battery. So of course Batman interrogates one of the thugs, and even Mercy and Lex try to make a break for it, with basically Batman going on a dugout war with Lex, and Mercy trying to make a break for it, with Lex getting his suit ready and going toe-to-toe. And of course, Batman and Lex duke it out, but turns out the battery was actually Superman, and basically takes Lex and Mercy away, with Lex no doubtly going to cover the story, and with basically Superman saying, "If I can take care of this on my own, he's all yours." And so they pretty much talk about the Brainiac tech, and that Superman needs to get rid of it, which he does. And yeah, pretty much this unknown person is looking at an area where it happened, and the guy basically calls him out on loitering, which he holds a gun. And I know a lot of people say this is Jason Todd, but I think it's up to the next issues to kind of guess what's going to happen. I know there's probably something like this online, so I don't know for sure, but he does say he's got much bigger fish to fry. And ending the story. So I would say this issue is meant to follow its own continuity. Yeah, it's basically using elements from, like, the cartoon series, but is following its own path, slightly. So I think this issue definitely deserves a good thumbs up. It's good to see Batman the Animated Series back, and it kind of gives you that little slice of cake-like story. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.